Hey guys, it's Toniko Pantoja, and today I'd like to talk about personal projects. When doing a personal project, a passion project, or an independent venture, should they always be making monetary income? So these things include things like franchising your own IP, merchandising, maybe holding online courses where you can teach a class and then make income out of that, selling tools, selling resources. Maybe your passion projects get popular or get loved by the people, therefore you start a Patreon, and if they want exclusive behind the scenes, they can pay you a certain tier to get access to those. So the question I'm trying to explore is that if you're doing your own independent venture, your own personal or passion project, should they always make money? And in an ideal world, I just wish for everyone to make a living doing the thing that they love. So let's explore the best and the worst things that can come off from, making income from doing your own personal projects. So the best thing is that you can make money doing the thing that you love or doing the thing that you're passionate about. You call all the shots, you set your own lifestyle, you build your own identity, therefore you can make a business out of it. You don't have to be dependent on a daytime job or, if you're in the industry, having to depend on industry work. However, when money is involved, it becomes a business, and business equates to things being a job. So now you kind of have to depend on this project that you set up for yourself to make you that income. When it becomes a job, there are things that you don't want to do for it. But you're probably thinking, wait, these are passion projects, these are personal projects. But at the same time, you might also be doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, such as being customer support, management, marketing, etc. You have to depend on other people still. They have a certain image of you that they want you to uphold. So let's say I started off doing these cute dancing dog, clips, and it gets loved. People want more, but I say, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to explore something else. You may alienate those customers, and that's where you have to come to a choice where you have to decide doing a passion project out of love and passion or doing a passion project so it can keep making you some form of income. There's a reason why some personal projects are just called passion projects. They're made out of passion. The emphasis on money is pretty bare to none at all. Sometimes passion or personal projects are a way for people to sort of, find peace within themselves after a stressful day. And that could be beneficial to mental health. So an example of this is, let's say you work as a full-time animator or storyboard artist. You're done with your day job, you're tired, but you have energy to draw and make stuff for yourself because it is fun, it is relaxing, and it makes you feel at peace. There are many people who would rather do stuff for fun and for free in their own time rather than try to find ways to make money out of a personal thing that they just want to do. This is normal and it is 100% fine. When money is afloat, now it feels like you sort of have a responsibility to keep that going, to keep that alive. You do work that you don't want to do. You do things that you felt out of love. Sometimes you have to do work that isn't even related to the passion project. Sometimes it's just managing a business or maintaining some form of brand and image. And that's where you kind of have to be careful because something that might be relaxing and meditative and peaceful and very personal to you can eventually become the thing that you dislike. You might be put in a situation where people only expect a certain thing out of you. There was a time I was making a lot of money teaching classes, holding up courses, making people excited for original IP. I thought it would be a good idea to start a Patreon. But then I realized I didn't have a system in place, but at the same time, thinking about all these different ways to make money out of my own art or my own personal ventures started to tax me out. It made me worry about how to go about these things, if I was making the right choices, if I was making art that was appealing to other people rather than making art that was special and true to me. And it was just a vicious cycle to the point that I started not enjoying drawing. I didn't really like what I was doing. And I gotta say, always thinking about how to make money with personal projects and thinking about being an independent person who is stable, who makes money by themselves, it kind of made me ignorant to a lot of things. Like, I remember because I made a lot of money doing my own stuff, I tried to convince all my other friends who aren't like me, but I tried to convince them, hey, because it worked for me, it'll work for you. You're going to make a lot of money doing these things that I did. It kind of came off as ignorant, and to them, it felt like I wasn't really listening to them or hearing them out. It made it harder for other people to relate to me. Although I gotta say, it's a good feeling to show some people that, hey, there is a possibility to make a living just by doing your own thing. But I don't think I was at a good place with how I feel about my work, and I think it's still something that I'm trying to figure out. So I recently had to disable my Patreon just so that I can refocus what kind of work that I want to make, what kind of animation I want to bring, or what feels honest to me. And that's something I want to figure out first before I think about the business stuff. Because it's a good feeling when you figure out something that you really, really love. It'll eventually become a business later on if I decide to do it. I think what it comes down to is what you value in your life, right? So I have a lot of friends who are talented, super talented animators, story artists, and artists within the animation industry, but they also know that their job is the only time they work, and when they do venture into their own personal work, it's just for fun, it's just for relaxing. They don't see this becoming a big thing where it makes a lot of money, it makes a lot of clout, etc. Some people don't necessarily benefit from the monetary income. Sometimes they just benefit from being in the community, like making awesome work together after work hours, just talking to other artists, working on stuff together, or supporting each other. The community aspect can be super rewarding too. Besides money, there are a lot of other benefits that you can find with passion projects. So I can talk about personal projects or passion projects endlessly. Like, there's just so many things to talk about it because I think it's a huge reflection with how you view your own life or the things that you value in your life. I think at the end of the day, it's important to be self-aware and to reflect a lot. Or maybe I have a few things that you can think about regarding the subject of personal projects. Do they always have to make money? The first question I want to ask is, if there was no one that you had to appeal to, if there was no money involved, what would you do? Would you work on a personal project or would you not work on a personal project? If not, you know yourself well. If you do, well, try to think about things that you do value in working on a personal project, besides the money aspect. So things like the community. Is there a good, healthy community that you can bounce off ideas or work on a project together with or to be around with? Maybe you just want to level up in your skills. Is there something that you can value in learning something out of this personal project that you started? Maybe you're trying to build on a foundation. The next one I want to ask is a bit tricky because I think it requires a bit of experience, life experience, work experience, etc. So the next thing I want to ask is, do you see yourself making this a job for yourself? Or is it just a place where you can just express yourself without having to market to anyone else? How much energy is this personal project going to take? Is it going to take a lot of your whole time, or is it something that's very casual or very chill? From what I have experienced with a lot of ambitious people who are very passionate and just want to make money from their personal projects, it becomes a job that you're constantly thinking about 24/7. How do I keep going on? How do I stay afloat on the social media game? How do I make this more attractive for money? And when you start thinking about that 24/7, and from my experience, I became less present. I was just in my head too much to the point where I couldn't enjoy anything else in life, or I couldn't see any other solution to the problems I was facing with my work and my life. Maybe that's just poor planning on my behalf. But I think the biggest misconception that I came in with was that, oh, it's a passion project, it's fun, it's chill, I'm doing hard work because I love it. But it's a lot of work that I underestimated, and that includes work that I personally don't want to do. I think the last advice that I'd love to give is talk to other people who are doing their own thing and kind of see where their head is at. There'll be people that I don't relate to at all, and there are people where I relate to them, and not only that, I look up to them because of how genuine they are. I've talked to people who only make personal projects to make things to rival big studio stuff and to make a lot of money out of, and I've talked to other people who do it just because it's just a way for them to express themselves or to explore a subject matter that they care deeply about. Some people want to make groundbreaking independent animation, whereas others just want to make possible portfolio pieces for future work. But I think it's good to get a bigger perspective on how people feel about their personal projects so you can kind of get a better sense of how you can approach your own personal projects. Oh, and another food for thought, if you've decided that you want to do personal projects and there might be money involved, well, try focusing on doing the thing that you love, doing things out of passion other than money, and see what you're willing to do with that. Because when you truly love it and when you are really passionate about it to the point where it's unconditional, money and business stuff is not going to stop you. So it's just a casual thing that I've been thinking about lately because I'm going through an arc in my life and in my work where I'm just trying to figure out what I enjoy doing instead of trying to appeal to a crowd, instead of trying to appeal for that sweet dough. And I gotta say, I have a better relationship with my art, with my work. Like, I've done some animation and artwork that I'm not in any rush to put online. It's just for me. And there's something very freeing about that, where the passion project or the personal project is really just for me. So, do personal projects have to make money? Absolutely not. If it does, great. I want every artist to make their own dough. If no money is involved, find things to value from doing your personal work. Anyways, that's all. Bye. Interested in learning hand-drawn animation or learning how to finish an animated shot from beginning to end? Have a look at the store where you'll find the complete Introduction to 2D Animation video course, tutorials, and other resources. Learn classical animation approaches, drawing, lectures, techniques, and other process videos. Visit the store through the link in the description below.